2017's been a tremendous year for us in terms of really focusing on two things. One, trying to do as many partnerships to have access to data that can be actionable across connected TV as possible. So whether that's coming off of 2016, going into 2017, focusing on helping get access to first-party data for major advertisers and brands, and typically that means it's either at an Experian or an Axiom Live Ramp or Newstar. And so making sure we had all of those direct server-to-server integrations so that we can make it easy for advertisers to facilitate their first-party data across OTT. And then in addition to that, then we really started looking at the major players in terms of third-party data. So whether it's the Kantars or the V12s, or we did a huge partnership with ComScore for their demographic data. And so really, I'd say kind of half of our focus has been just making sure we could democratize the access to third-party and first-party data across connected TV. And then the second part of our focus has been how do we then make it easier for the largest platforms driving most of the advertising in the ecosystem to then make that actionable. So whether it's Videology or AppNexus or others. And so for us, it's been pretty much every 10 days or so, so far in 2017, we've announced some sort of huge partnership in one of those areas.
So just in the past year, there's been so much progress in OTT and connected TV. How would you characterize the change in short period of time?
It's been dramatic. So one of the things, it's funny, I was looking at an investor deck from 2014, like one of our first decks, and we talked about that, saying, in the next 3 to 5 years, we want to, be able to own or have a huge presence in terms of the entire value chain for audience-based advertising across OTT and connected TV. And we had projections in terms of what the household penetration was going to be in the U.S. and what percentage of television viewership by 2018. And, all the kind of metrics that people try to look at to understand what the scale and growth is. And for every single one, we actually underestimated how fast and how rapid the growth and adoption of OTT and connected TV would be. And so I think kind of the biggest thing industry-wide, and luckily we've been able to benefit from that and a lot of our partners as well, is that connected TV adoption is growing way faster, ad-supported connected TV adoption way faster than I think anybody predicted.
And you're fond of saying that the future is here.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, so the reason why, I've been a big proponent of saying that, is that I believe 80%, 90% of the things that people envision to one day be able to do across kind of audience-based television advertising, be it across set-top box or OTT or just traditional digital, I mean, those capabilities are already here right now. There's very few things that I could legitimately think of that either through Tru Optik or other companies in the industry that are doing some great things that you can't do. And I think it's really less of a technological capability issue right now in the industry and more of a speed of adoption across leading advertisers and networks and just kind of logistical and bureaucratic things that are kind of slowing momentum down. But if you want to use a third-party data source on your index linear buy, and then use that same data source for your addressable set-top buy, and then use that same data source across desktop and mobile and connected TV, you can do that already. I mean, we've been doing that in partnership with Videology and other players since all year. If you want to understand that somebody was exposed to your ad on Roku or Apple TV or Xbox, and did they then walk into your store, we can do that with Ninth Decimal. Or did they then make a purchase? You can do that with Kantar, Shopcom, and other stuff. So there's just very little that an advertiser could want to do now across advanced TV that you can't actually do.
So, with regard to OTT and connected TV, where does privacy come in? I understand you have a solution called OptOutTV. Can you explain the genesis of that?
Yeah. So, it started towards the beginning of the year. as we were really starting to bring more and more data providers and platforms syncing with our data marketplace and our DMP, one of the questions I was asked is, hey, I can have people opt out from interest-based advertising across desktop and mobile. How do I do that across advanced TV and connected TV in particular? There's no mechanism in place. So any of the kind of advertising standard, boards that people are a part of, if you go to their sites, there's no option on connected TV. If you go on many of the linear, broadcast, cable, and cable apps or publishers, there's no ability to opt out from connected TV. And we just thought that it made more sense to be proactive in terms of trying to allow for consumers to have those type of privacy and opt-out controls, as opposed for waiting for some issue, some lawsuit to happen, or the government to put in place some sort of restriction or barrier that really hampered the business. And so OptOutTV is the only place that consumer-facing. So whether it is a consumer going to that site and saying, I want to opt out from this type of data, or across all my my connected TV devices in the household from interest-based advertising, or it's publishers being able to have that in their policy and terms of service in their app, so people can opt out right from the app. So it's we've have about 45 to maybe 50 data partners and publishers that are already kind of approved or engaged in working with that, and we'll be making it available for consumers in January to start using more widely.